We invite you for a trip around one of the most charming places in Lower Silesia, Jelenia Góra, the city known as the Pearl of the Carconoscia. Nobody who has seen the panorama of the city with the Carconoscia in the background at least once needs to be persuaded of the unique charm of the city with the stag in the coat of arms. Its rich and turbulent history shaped the city full of mysteries, colourful nooks and historical relics. Situated in a mountainous valley, it attracts not only with its picturesque location, but also with over 900 years of its history, which is the effect three cultures blending here: Polish, German and Czech. From a medieval fortified city, Jelenia Góra has, over the centuries, transformed into a beautiful city of perfectly preserved historic buildings, with architecture of a health resort, parks and picturesque landscapes. Walking around Jelenia Góra, everywhere you may come across buildings entered on the list of historical objects on the National Heritage Board of Poland. History lovers would find here numerous architectural monuments, such as medieval castles and fortifications, Baroque and Renaissance palaces, and wonderful Art Nouveau tenement houses. The market square, surrounded by tenement houses with arcades and considered one of the most beautiful market squares in Lower Silesia, and the classical town hall, with its medieval well discovered in the past years, deserves special attention. The panorama of the city is crowned with its splendid sacral historic buildings, including Church of the Exaltation of the Holy Cross, with its magnificent organ of a unique sound, and Basilica Minor of St. Erasmus and Pancrace, with its monumental 18th century altar. Historic towers are also worth seeing: the Tower of Chvousta, Castle Tower and Grodzka Tower, which remind of the medieval history of the city. Each year, crowds of tourists discover the unique character of those places. Those who seek unforgettable views and fascinating sensations will be led by tourist trails to ruins of the medieval castle of Hojnik, as its majestic skyline can be seen from almost every point in the city. This place has many secrets and is the subject of numerous legends. Those preferring the peace and magnificent panorama of the Carconoscia would head for Jagniątków, with the museum of a Nobel Prize winner Gerhard Hauptmann. This is the place where Gerhard Hauptmann lived and wrote, very often in his writings praising the beauty of the area. The biggest in Poland collection of artistic glass, one of the collections of the Carconoscia Museum, reflects rich glazing tradition of the region, dating back to the middle of the 14th century. The glass collection of 7,000 exhibits from various epochs is one of the most significant in Europe. When visiting the Carconoscia, you should also visit Cieplice Health Resort, the oldest health resort in Poland, famous for its thermal waters, with the temperature reaching 90 degrees Celsius. The springs have served health resort visitors with their beneficial effects for ages and have been used in the treatment of numerous ailments. The health resort, located at the foot of Carconoscia, charms with its exceptional beauty and special microclimate. Its central point is Piastowski Square, with its splendid Baroque and classical castle, former residence of the Szafkoć family, owners of Cieplice. Walking along the main route, you will arrive at Zdrojowa Park, renewed in the 19th century style, and further at Norwegian Park, with a charming pond, rich trees, and an amazing view of the Karkonosze. The Jelenia Góra Valley stands out both in the country and in Europe, not only with its natural and landscape features, but also with cultural qualities. It is manifested by numerous objects of historical architecture. In order to make tourists familiar with those valuable historical jewels of architecture, tourist trail was founded called the Valley of Palaces and Gardens of Jelenia Góra, which covers about 30 buildings, from medieval housing towers to breathtaking palace and park complexes. 11 of them have been nominated by the President of Poland as the Monuments of History. The most beautiful among them are the palaces of Łomnica, Wojanów, and Paulinum Palace in Jelenia Góra. The Karkonosze Mountains is the place where you can meet many valuable and unique species of animals and plants in their natural habitat. For their protection, National Park of Karkonosze and the bilateral biosphere reserve Karkonosze entered on UNESCO list protecting the flora and fauna of the Karkonosze on both Polish and Czech side of the border. Since 2010, it has also been the third geopark in Poland, which allows for a very interesting form of activity, which is geotourism. Picturesque tourist routes and interesting bicycle routes start in the city, which give you the opportunity to visit relics of architecture of various epochs, to experience the beauty of the Karkonosze, facing the difficulties of reaching mountain summits, or finding rest among the greenery of parks. That is the reason why the Way of St. James in the Sudeti is so popular, a part of pilgrim's route Camino de Santiago, crossing the center of Jelenia Góra, to run further along picturesque Borowy Yar. The location of Jelenia Góra in the mountains and favorable weather in the area allows for mountain climbing, aviation, hang gliding and paragliding. The Wave of the Karkonosze, known in Europe, attracts pilots of gliders from Poland and abroad. That is where the career of Mirosław Hermaszewski began. To find out about the uniqueness of Jelenia Góra, you just have to come here. And the beauty of the city, the Jelenia Góra Valley and the Karkonosze will remain in your memory for many years. Nothing can be more beautiful than the location of Jelenia Góra, beautifully built city with numerous splendid buildings in a valley surrounded by hills on all sides, with a magnificent view of the Karkonosze Mountains. John Quincy Adams.